Hello traders, this is Dan with AITG. This is our second professional members room that's open. We're glad to see you here. Those that are available at the present time, I see Trish is here. Welcome, Trish. Before we move forward, let me quickly get this disclaimer out of the way. I'll see if I can make our 60-second disclaimer maybe a 40-second disclaimer. Number one, we are not licensed financial advisors or broker dealers. We do not tell you when or what to buy or sell. We develop trading software which allows you to conveniently manage multiple trades simultaneously, both on an individual pair basis as well as on an overall account equity basis. Our trading systems allow you to set the criteria you want for entering and exiting trades. Number two, do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Number three, we do not guarantee consistent pips or that anyone can make money with no effort, and we are not selling the Holy Grail. Number four, every system can have winning and losing streaks. Number five, money management plays a large role in the results of your trading. For example, lot size, account size, broker leverage, and broker margin call rules all have an effect on results. Also, your take profit and stop loss settings for individual pair trades and for overall account equity have a major impact on results. If you are new to trading and do not understand these items, then we recommend you go to babypips.com and study there for a while and then come back to us. So Trish, how are you today? How's your trading going?
It's Trish and Brian, actually.
Trish and Brian, okay.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Trish.
Hey, how are you, Zul?
We're doing good. How you guys
doing? Yeah, the week before was excellent. We just sort of nearly every night we were getting winners after winners. Then this week came, was it? Oh, late last week we got into a drawdown real bad, and our internet went off for a couple of days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the results wasn't too good, but we got back to our starting point. So,
Now, do you have a circumstance there very often where you lose internet connection?
No, not really.
Okay, so that was a real fluke.
Yeah, not like for a couple of days. I mean, say the most it's been has been about an hour before, but this was about 4 or 5 days.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough.
And what time frames were you guys trading on?
We did start off with the London. Oh, time frame. Sorry. 4-hour heat map and 1 hour Haas.
Okay, so your charts are on 1 hour.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And you were also doing the 4-hour heat map without the charts?
No, together.
Or using the heat map to filter the trades. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I was going to suggest, have you guys ever looked into a VPS?
Well, thinking about it, we just can't quite afford it at the moment with everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We will look into it though, because we have tried them out before.
Did you like them before, or what?
Yeah, we didn't mind them. It was much more convenient, I think.
Yeah, because you can go anywhere and log on.
Yeah, that's right.
Who's your broker again?
FXCM.
Do they have a VPS service through the brokerage?
I'm not too sure, but I think so.
Okay.
If you understand that.
Yeah, I know what it's like to. I've lost internet myself here a couple times. In recent weeks, and here I'm at, and I'm paying for a service where I'm getting 100 was it 115 megabytes per second download speed. I got a lot of bandwidth, and I don't know what it is, but I used to brag to Dan and everyone else at AITG here that, hey, yeah, I don't need a VPS. I never lose internet. And it seems like right when I said that, I lost it.
Yeah, that's the way, isn't it?
Yeah, open mouth, insert foot, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, have you guys been looking at what we're coming out with next?
With the dashboard?
The sub-DEMs?
And the sub-DEM, the new sub-DEM trading system.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we've been following that. Yes. It looks really good. We can't wait.
Well, hey, I'm glad you guys decided to become members of the room here, because we're going to have some fun here. Did you see where I put out this challenge, the man versus machine challenge?
A bit, but because of the internet playing up, we couldn't. Yeah, so we're going to go over it a little bit later on.
Yeah, well, this is what the challenge is going to be. I've been doing manual supply and demand zone trading for quite a long time. And I don't know if you listened to Monday night's webinar, but we talked about it extensively. I showed the setups for it. I'll go over it again here shortly. But I'm gonna challenge the new fully auto sub-DEM trading system that Gene's putting out here shortly against my manual trading. And
so that's your man versus machine, right?
Yeah, I'll be the man, and the machine will be the full auto TS.
Right.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. So we'll start out. I don't know if the account sizes will be equal, but the goal here is percent increase of accounts. So we'll have benchmark starting points on both platforms, and mine is going to be a live account. I'm breaking my rules, and in the United States here, we have this thing about keeping private your tax forms, your money situations. But I'm going to share my live account so people know that we're serious about this, and that we're not afraid to that we do trade live money with this. So it'll be a live account, manual against a demo account. The machine, the sub-DEM trading system. Yeah. So we will start that officially, kick that off when the TS is released to us. So we're hoping within the next, hopefully maybe by the weekend, if not maybe early next week. But in the meantime, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through the manual setup again. I want to just teach you guys, everyone out there watching this, how it's set up, and then we'll go through some charts and look for some trades. And the advantage over, there's actually pros and cons on both sides. Manual trading, you gotta be in front of the screen for the setup, and look for the trades and execute, blah blah blah. Whereas with the full auto, you don't have to be there. You just set your settings and you turn it on and you go. On the positive side of the manual there, whereas the auto is stuck to parameters that are coded in the TS. With the manual, I can employ different techniques to get out of stop loss jam, get out of some jams and stuff. Some of the stuff that I have showed and illustrated in prior webinars and daily setups. Some of the rescue techniques.
So you'll be doing that on 4-hour charts, right, Raj?
Yeah, it'll be on 4-hour charts. And so it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to do it for a 30-day challenge. So whatever the day we officially start, 30 days later will be the completion. And the winner gets bragging rights. I think that's a pretty good prize, don't you?
See if you can beat the trading. See if you can beat the computer, Raj.
Yep. It's kind of like remember when computerized chess first came out?
Oh yeah, they said nobody could beat it.
They had all these chess masters that tried to beat the computer, and they never could, until one day some guy finally did, and yeah. So
Now I think the way they got it, nobody can beat the computer now at chess. Nobody.
yeah,
So be
I
it.
don't know. You guys play chess there down in Australia?
We do, but yeah, Trish is not really interested. I don't mind playing chess, but
Yeah.
Trish prefers backgammon.
Oh, I like backgammon, and I also like cribbage. You ever played cribbage?
Yeah, but that's been a long time. Is it 15-2 and something like that? You got
Yeah,
the
it's a
pegs on the board?
Yeah, it's a card game with and you have to peg out points. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're going down a rabbit trail here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me update something here real quickly. Okay, all right. So what we're looking at here on the screen. So hey, before we get started, you guys have any more concerns or questions for us?
Not at this point in time. Not at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, like Dan said, this is going to be on a 4-hour. I have found through my manual trading that, and I'm going to show you a chart here in a minute. That's on an hour. But when you're doing this manually, 4-hour chart would be the lowest I would go in time frame.
Mm-hmm.
I am trading this live on a. This is of course a demo right here, but live on a 4-hour chart and on an hour chart. Or I'm sorry, not an hour, but a daily chart.
Yeah.
Which you know that you're in the trades for longer periods of time, obviously, and you'll understand that when you see what your exit strategy is here shortly.
Yeah, and be aware of what you're looking at right here. Roger has a preliminary copy of the DEM TS.
Yeah, and it has changed a little bit, but this is just a preliminary copy here. And so I started exercising it, but the basic setup is the same. I think, Gene, with the final copy, will have a few more bells and whistles to it. So anyway, again, the basic setup is there's really nothing special you do with the dashboard. Well, no, let me just talk about the auto, because this is the auto. But so this is just the DEM TS, and the charts look like this. Let's find one that we're in the trade here. Here's one. All right. So what we're doing here, the whole idea behind SUPDEMs. Did you guys ever look at that video on SUPDEMs by Sam Sedin?
No, not yet.
If you get a chance on our webpage, under resources, there's some couple videos, but there's one that's called Supply and Demand Basics by Sam Sedin.
Yeah, when you scroll down that list, it'll be toward the bottom of the list.
Yeah, it's on the display or on the resource page. But it's a 45-minute video. It's definitely worth it, because when you see the concept of what supply and demand zones are, I guarantee you will have an aha moment, and you just might throw away every indie that you have in your toolbox, because this is pretty much pure price action. And in a nutshell, what these this is a demand zone, the red's a supply zone, and what it does, what it represents, are buy and sell orders.
Can you scrunch that screen vertically, Raj, so we can maybe see more of those?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, so if these zones here represent buy orders, and the green representing sell orders, where do you think the pressure is for price to go?
Down.
Exactly. Because these are all stacks of
There's a whole bunch of sell, a lot of sell orders.
Right.
So they want to supply. They want to supply in order when they sell, they're supplying.
Yep. So a lot of people get supply and demand zones. They think that they're the same as support and resistance. They're not. Now, can a support and resistance line or zone be intersect with a supply and demand? Yep, it could, but they're totally different the way of what they are. Okay, so I tend to, in my mind, I put out the supply or the support and resistance concept and totally think into supply and demand. And the reason being, this is what the banks see. They see the stacks of, we don't know where all the buys and sells are, but they do. The liquidators, the acquitters, am I even saying that right? Not the liquidators. What's the word I'm looking for, Dan? The big banks that move the money, that control the price. They know where all the buys and sells are, and so they're using this to manipulate price. And one thing that Sam Sedin tries to get you to think as the big banker and not a retail seller. Again, because the information's out there. Only 90% of the retail, or 90% of the retail traders out there lose. Only 10% win. And the reason being is that those are the guys that are thinking like the banks. All right. So we need to start changing our thinking. Now, again, let me illustrate my idea here. If we didn't have the supply and demand zones right now, and you look at this chart, okay, and most retail traders, we do what? We want to trade with the trend, correct?
Yeah.
Anyone there?
Yeah, sorry, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So if we were to draw a trend line here, we would look at this right here, and you have you have three higher lows. So that would tell you that this is an upward trend now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just by looking at it real briefly, okay, that's an upward trend. So most traders would be doing what? Well, hey, most traders want to trade with the trend, follow the money, right? And so where would we be looking for? We'd be looking for buys here, wouldn't we? Correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
We would be taking buys. Now, let's zoom back out here.
In fact, this has a buy on it right now.
Right, well, I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, okay.
We'll zoom back out here, and we see what? All this pressure up here to sell, right? So if we got in up here in a buy, but there's all this pressure to sell, it's going to hit up here, and guess what? It's going to turn around and go down. So if we had a target up here in this area up here, or let's say we had a target up here at this last high, okay, or maybe a 618 of this high, guess what? We might miss it, right? Are you following me so far?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, now let's look at the concept of a supply and demand zone. Let me see if I should zoom out. All right, right here is the green box. In fact, let me just do something real quick here. Do I have it? No, I don't have it here. Rats.
Don't worry about it.
I have another indicator that I superimpose on this that highlights, and I'll show you it when we get over to the manual. But when a supply and demand zone first paints here, okay, it is supposed to be solid green or solid red, depending on if it's a supply or demand. And when price comes back and touches or penetrates that box, it will hollow itself out. And then that lets you know that price has already penetrated the fresh demand zone. It's no longer a fresh demand zone. But so here was the demand zone right here, and price painted. And what the Indy does, it will paint out this blue box out six time frames, and it calculates 25% of the move. 25% from this box here, this green, to the next red box above. And what it does, it calculates, it gives you a entry zone of 25% of this total move right here, which is roughly 160 pips, and that's just around 40, so that's 38, 40. So that's 25% of this overall move. And so when price is within this entry zone, it takes the trade as it did right here. At this case here, it was right at the top of the zone, and it automatically puts a take profit of 50% of the move. Remember, this was 160, and it puts a take profit roughly at 180, or I'm sorry, at 80 pips. Now, Dan and I, about 10 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, we were messing around with supply and demand zones, and we were just doing some back testing and looking, and noticed that when you got a fresh demand zone coming down from a supply or from a supply zone to a new demand, it always travels at least 50% back up to where the other red zone was, versus the other green zone. Every time, 99.9% of the time. Is that correct, Dan?
Yes, it is.
So we started trading based on this simple concept alone. At the painting of a new supply or demand zone, if it's within 25%, all right, which this box represents, we would get into the trade, and it will go trout here. We'll just map this and see if I got my fibs right. No, these are not right. I'll show you how to set these fibs up here in a second. But so let's go back in time. This was a fresh box that just painted right here. Let's say we got in right here. The overall travel from this fresh one, and we'll say that this was the only demand zone or supply zone that was there, was 353 pips away. We would put our take profit at half of that, so it is 175. There's 175 right there. Look at that. Did price make it? Yep, with some to spare. So if you go back and you start looking at these, or even look forward, or you would see that 99.9% of the time, price hits the 50% mark. Okay, so that's the gold star entry right there. Is on a fresh demand zone when price is coming down, or if price was coming up. All right, and I'll show you the other two entries when we get to the manuals. So have I lost you yet, or are you guys still following me?
No, we're still following you, still hanging in.
It's pretty simple. So supply and demand. So what this automated system does, it looks for when it paints a new box, gives you an entry area, and when and it takes the trade, and then it automatically puts on the 50%. Now you can go into the Indy. Oh, where's that? You can go into the Indy and you can change some of the settings. You can change your take profit, a multiplier. This multiplier is based on 100%. You could put 1 in there, which would be 100% of the move from SUP-DEM to SUP-DEM, or you can put a 618. You can put whatever percentage you want, up to 100% for your take profit, if you desire. But I'm telling you, the 50% rule works every time.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice we have a red line in here, a stop loss. This is an auto fixed stop loss. If you have that set to true, it puts a stop loss on the opposite side of the SUP-DEM that it entered on. All right.
Yeah. And
then you also use an auto. You can use an auto opposite signal exit. So let's say price didn't get all the way up here, and say price goes up. Well, let me close this now. Price gets up this high, and then it paints a new demand zone. Or I'm sorry, a new supply zone. I keep on getting these mixed up. And then when that happens, it will close out. So if it paints another red box up here, we're coming off a green box going long. If it paints a short box, it will close out.
Yeah, even if it never made 50%.
Right. Let's see what else. And then these are the settings for your window width: 6 bars or six candles. And then you can change your percent of your height of your entry box. Right now it's at 25%. And then the rest is all just. But anyway, so that's the simple automatic Indy, and this is what it's done so far. 66 pips. This is complete total auto.
And when did that start, Raj?
It started yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So, and I got it at 5 minutes. So yeah, when you put your time up here to 5 minutes, you should get almost a complete week of trading on your chart there. All right. Now another idea here. We should bring over another chart. Okay, now this is the same setup as before, but on the hour. And what I've done is I've turned off the take profits. No, I think I had to take profits on. But what I've done is use the ADR take profit and toggle that down to 0.2. So I'm looking for smaller bites out of the move. And this just started last night, 1900, and it's making some good pippage there. It's taken well, 5 stop losses and six profits, but for overall 63 pips. So that is the auto version. Now we're going to change. Let me switch presenters here and go back to my other computer. All right, you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Now this is the well, this was supposed to, is this locked up? Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and this will be the live account that I use, but right now, let me switch this back over to a demo and put some money on it, because we're gonna go through a couple of charts and look for some trades. I think once you see this, this will be the aha moment, hopefully. Get an account. Next. All right.
Incoming mail.
I don't know why that's not, hang on, let me close and reopen this. There we go. All right. Auto trading on. All right. So you want to have your, for this manual setup, we're going to, like I said, we're going to be doing 4 hour. So you have your dashboard on the same time frame as your charts. And the chart setup is pretty simple. Now, remember I told you about I'm using, on the manual, I'm using the AITG DEM SD trading system, which is the DeMark SUP DEM trading system. And the reason being, it puts the SUP DEM. What's that?
Yeah. We just can see a blue screen.
Oh, my apologies here. I thought okay.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
You see me now?
Yeah,
okay.
We see it now, Raj. Yeah.
Okay. So using
Do you guys have that one? Brian, you guys have got the DM?
No.
Oh, okay.
All right. So but the reason being I'm using the DM is because it has the SUP DEMs on them, but it also has the buy and entry lines diagonal that you can manipulate and make them horizontal, make them whatever angle you want. But I use them horizontally, and I'll show you why in a minute here. Where's the, oh, here it is. Let's see if I can.
It's a convenience item. having
Well,
those lines on there. Yeah.
Well, it's a way to set your trades up because, like I said, there's going to be there's 3 different entries that we're going to look for. And this will be the advantage that the man will have over the machine. And they're all viable, good entries. Okay. Oh, let me bring that back down. All right. And we'll, oh, too big. Wish I can get rid of this. Let's go to webinar dashbar toolbar. Gets in my way here. All right. So now what I have done here is I've put on what I have is I have the fractals on there, which really don't need the fractals. And I have the AITG Mark SUPDEM trading system. And I got this on twice. What do I got this on twice? This is the Casino SUPDEM version 1. And it's an indie, and it doesn't do anything except for it puts on SUPDEMs. And you might ask, why would you put SUPDEMs if the trading system has the SUPDEMs in them? Well, excuse me. The SUPDEMs that are in the DM indie, our trading system, are all hollow. Whereas the SUPDEMs in the Casino SUPDEM version 1, when the SUPDEMs first created, it's solid green or solid red. And you can see here that when price comes out of it, see my arrow over here, and goes back down into it and penetrates that SUPDEM,
yeah,
that was its first violation. It hollows out. So as you know, as price continues to paint over here on the right hand side of the screen, and you don't see the entry or the where the SUPDEM first was created anymore because it's all the way over to the left, and you're looking on the right side, you can have a quick reference saying, okay, that SUPDEM's already been violated at least once. So you know that, and this is going to come into play in our other 2 entry scenarios. All right, so keep that in mind. So it's kind of nice to know that solid greens or solid reds are fresh SUPDEMs that have not been violated yet by price. You guys have any questions so far?
When we say violated, Rod, you're not talking about penetrated, just touched.
Right. Well, price has to touch it or go into it. When price completely goes through it, in other words, it busts all the way through the wall, then that SUPDEM is no longer a valid SUPDEM. It disappears.
Disappeared, right? But like on that hollow green SUPDEM right on top of where you are, you see where it touched the solid green on the left side?
Right there.
No, go one more to the left.
No.
Right,
Just
right
right.
there.
Well, yeah, right. Price has
That's
to come
where it
out and
touched it.
close. Right. Price has to come. It paints itself, and then price has to come out and close, and then go back in, and then it turns hollow.
okay.
Right, but I was showing it first had to come back and touch the solid green.
Right. This was solid green when it first painted. Yes.
Okay, I was looking at the solid green one under it. So that was
This one right
totally
here.
non-issue.
What this one
Yeah,
right
that
here has not been touched yet.
Right, okay, gotcha.
Right. If you can see, price never went into this green one here, but it did go into this the next one up.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to look for. Let me go ahead and set my chart up now. Let me save this. Save as we'll default. And we'll go back to the TS or the dashboard. And let's go ahead and just close all. Well, yeah, we'll just close all charts. And then we'll open all. And then we'll go and make these all 4-hour change chart periods. Oh, I don't have my change template time. Didn't have my hotkeys set up. And this is change all templates. So this is P.
M.
No, M.
M is for templates. Yeah.
M.
P is for period.
Yep. Close. Set hotkey. Oh, P. Close. Now, voila. All right, we'll make all of our charts 4-hour. And
They didn't change.
let's try it one more time.
Well, you're on template now.
Oh, is that what I?
No, you were on period before. I thought. I'm pretty sure you were.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. 240.
That's odd.
Well, I don't be. Oh, I know what's wrong. I know. This is important. Watch this. Whenever you guys have this problem, you just take a hammer and a screwdriver to it, and you beat the heck out of it. Oh, I know. Hang on a second. Commons didn't have DLL imports. Allow DLL imports. Very important. Now it'll work.
That's something you could set universally with the tools thing up there, I think.
Yeah, you could. Let's make sure. There we go. Options and expert advisors, allow DL. Yep. So now everything will automatically click to DLL.
If Brian, if you guys didn't know that, that's something you should do anytime you open up a new platform.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, we
Okay.
figured that out. Yeah, the hard way too.
Yeah.
All right. So what I do now on my manual setups here, I turn off my charts, all my pairs white, because I don't want to take any trades until I want to control and command it. All right, so we're going to go through a couple charts here one at a time, and look for some entries here. So we'll go ahead and get these set up here. And this is the only hassle or inconvenience with the manual is once you get all your horizontal your buy and entry lines here set, and unless you refresh the chart, then they stay set. Oh, the reason being is because in this ND here, you have to the inputs on it. You have to turn. I leave everything turned off, everything except for use auto. Oh, yeah, use auto draw trend lines. This needs to be false because if it sets to true, every hour, every 4 hours, it's going to redraw your trend lines here, and they'll all be diagonal again.
Yeah.
So make sure everything is false on there. See, and then we'll go ahead and save this template, and then okay. So what we'll do here is we'll get these set up today, take some trades, and then I'll start doing my daily updates, showing the new setups, the new entries, and what the prior ones have done on this manual until we're ready to start the challenge. Okay. Zoom back. Okay, so you see price right here. Here's a good example. Oh, one more thing. If on what I use manually, I use the fib, and I showed this in Monday night's webinar. But what I did, go back and look at it. But what I do is go in there into the fib properties, and I delete everything from 100% and above is all deleted. All I care about is 100%, 75%, 50%, and 25%, and then of course 0. And then I label them as such. On both ends, the 0 and the 100 are labeled description as 0, as you see here. And the only other percentage we care about is the 25% and the 50%. All right, so if you set that up, that will be a rule or a gauge for you. So when you, let's say price is just right here right now, this new zone just painted, so we're looking for a long entry. So you go ahead and put your fib on there. And we can see, let's say it painted on the fourth candle. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where price opened, and you're still within your 25% zone, right? So you would manually take the trade. As soon as you see this, you take the trade.
So that allows your entry because you're still in the 25% area.
So right. So the entry would be somewhere in here, and then your target take profit is right there.
The 50%.
50%. That's 50 pips that you picked up in 1, 2. So let's say in an 8-hour period. Okay, look at that. Did it go as 50%? Yep. Plus. Now, I say for a rule of thumb, 99.9% of the time, it will travel its 50% before it does whatever else it does after that. Anything above 50%, you're on your own. Now, what you could do is once it reaches 50%, you could bring in create a stop loss line by dragging your entry line here and bringing a stop loss to 25% level, and now you've locked in some pippage.
Well, can you use that line, or do you need to hit the draw stop loss line over there to the right in the box?
No, I don't even mess with that.
Okay.
I want to use these right here, but of course this is just a fictitious. This is not a real entry line, Dan, so I can't create one.
Right. I got you. So you move that entry line up, and that becomes your stop loss if it pulls back.
We'll find an entry here, I'm sure, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm sure you guys know, but just in case.
Right.
All right. So there's no number 1 entry right here, right now. We missed it. So let's see what we do got. I think for today, let's go through the charts. I don't want to give you guys too much of a drink off the fire hydrant here. We'll just go look for number 1 entries, which are new SUP DEMs. Okay, and then on tomorrow's update, I will go through and show the other 2 types of entries. Okay, so we'll go through charts real quick. Now I'm only going to mess up these. I'll only correct the lines that we have entries on. All right, so we got a new SUP DEM here. You can see it definitely made its 50%.
No trade now.
But that was a good trade. Here's one here that, let's see.
Looks like it's going beyond the 25, but you could check it. It's above the 25, so it's too
Yeah,
far. We missed
it's
it.
already hit the 50%. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, even I think when sometimes you miss these because of where price goes when it's painted. It's above. So yeah, leave that alone.
Yeah, because those sub-dem squares, Brian, may not paint for 2 or 3 candles.
Well, no. The quickest these things will paint. It's all based on volatility of each pair. The quickest I've seen them paint is 3 candles, and the most is 6. So here's one right here. Let's see if this is a good entry.
Nope, it's beyond the 25.
Yeah, if I would have caught it over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the 6 candle, I would have gotten in.
Mm-hmm. It'll make it to that 50.
It will.
Hang your hat on it.
Yep. All
And
right,
also with your manual setup there, you were not putting any stop losses on the other side of the SUP-DEM.
right.
Yours.
And
Right.
yeah, you guys know, I think you guys know me by now. I hate stop losses.
Right. On the automatic system, you could also choose not to put them on.
Right, exactly. But for during the challenge, it's going to be complete default on the auto. So
Exactly.
all right. So here, there's nothing there. And you know, I need to go ahead. I forgot to put this. I don't know why these. There. All right. Missed that one. That would
Too
happen
late.
a few candles ago. What's that, Dan?
I said too late for that one.
Yep.
Nothing there.
I wonder why. Nah.
Do you need to save that as?
No, it's already set. You gotta.
Oh.
This template is a little bit. Once I get the chart set up, it stays on as long as I. Yeah. Once I get all these charts and these lines horizontal, I won't have to go in and refresh these training system anymore, and these lines all stay on there. I'll do that later, but well, what is going on here?
You may have to reapply the template.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
All right, here's one here. It looks like it might.
Too far.
Yeah, missed that one. Yeah, if I was there a few hours ago, I would have been there. I would have got it. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, well, I'm not going to stay up 24 hours a day and look at, you know, every 4-hour candles, look for entries. Well, just hold on to that thought because there's other entries. And I'll share with that. I'll start showing those on tomorrow's updates. Nothing there. Now, once you get all these set up, it takes me about 10-15 minutes to go through charts. Once everything's set up correctly. All right, here's one. There's a fresh SUP-DEM. Let's go ahead and set this up. Here is one.
Are you set, Roger, for opposite entry exit or opposite signal exit?
On this? No, Dan, this is completely manual. We don't. Remember, we're using the DeMark.
That's right. You're right. I got you.
Man.
Yeah, we're on manual.
Yep. Okay, so we got a good one here. It's kind of like fishing. You guys, Brian, you ever fished before?
Yeah, when I was younger.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. I hate fishing, but this is like fishing.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I guess if you catch a good one, you know.
Oh, even if you just sit there in the peace and quiet, you know, away from the hustle and bustle.
That's a very good point, and this is why I relate this to fishing, especially on your higher time frames, because you bait your hook and you're looking for some fish here, and now we find one, and we're going to take it, and we're going to see how we can draw it into the boat. The boat is the 50% line here. All right, so we're good here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that a good entry? Give me a
That's an
witness.
entry.
Give me an amen.
Amen.
All right, there we go. Let me just get these. We're not going to worry about these right now, but so we're going to take a buy. We're going to go over here, and we're going to. Where's that arrow? That what? That was.
Do you have to have the blue buttons on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not all of them.
Right.
Remember, reason why I have them off, because as I'm going through making setups and stuff, I don't want to arbitrarily take a trade, so I leave them off.
Right.
And when I find one, I turn it on and I'll turn it off. And now I'm going to go set my management up.
Oh, you turned it off. Okay.
All right.
So,
my
so after it
management
took
here,
the trade, then you turned it off.
yeah, because remember, these are active.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you get a news event, and then I don't want to take another trade. All right. So now I'm gonna drag. You know how to do this, right, Brian? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna make my take profit and bring it up here. That's 133 pips. Oh, yeah, of course I accept. Now, if this is the only trade I make today at $1.33 pips, that's a pretty good day, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to protect yourself, you can. You can make a stop loss and put it on the opposite side of the demand box right here. But I don't do that, so I'm going to cancel it. You can do it if you want. And look, I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anyone, okay? I just don't. I would rather use things I know about hedging and counter trades, etc., to work my way out of a bad situation versus taking a stop loss. That's just me. But
You'd rather rescue.
I'd rather rescue.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that comes from I was a firefighter in the Navy for 26 years. And so I rescued pilots out of burning aircraft and stuff. And so I'm kind of like a rescue man. Okay, so that's one good trade. Let that cook. Let's look for some other ones. We'll speed this up a little bit. I've already missed that. You can pretty eyeball it. No, you missed that. Now, question. What do? You see something like this, and price already passed even the 50% mark. 1, 2, 3. This would have been painted here at the earliest, and when this candle opened, price is already at the 50% mark. All right, but then it retreated and went back, and I don't know if it touched or not. It's hard to tell. Let's go. Let's see. No, price has not touched that yet. All right, and it retreats, and you catch it when it's in the 25% zone. Do you take the trade? You could. I would say it's probably a 95% chance it'll go back to 50%. But if it's touched and it's already turned hollow, again, it's kind of like, I think I said this the other night, this little analogy with these supply and demand zones. Every time price hits it, it's like taking a 10-pound sledgehammer to a cement wall. The more swacks you take at the wall, the weaker that wall is going to get until eventually you're going to bust through. With that being said, let me just give you a quick preview of another entry type. Remember what we illustrated at the beginning here with all those supply zones on top and all those supply zones on top and one demand zone on the bottom. I think I'm getting that mixed up. Anyway, the tendency, the pressure would be for a sell. right? Let's say price comes up and it breaches these two zones right here. And there's the next thing for it to hit is the next zone above. That's 172 pips away. This is my number 3 tier entry right here, which would be putting this breakout line. And when price penetrates these two zones, all right, and so it's breaking through plus a couple pips. Give yourself a, you know, you want to make sure it's
A little buffer there.
a little buffer there. You take this up for 50%. So that would be another 88 pips or so. So the number one, 99.9% of the time, is coming off a fresh zone, and then the other one, the second one is breaking through a zone. All right, but you want to make sure that there's enough space in between, and there's enough meat on the bone there, I guess to say.
Pips
Enough pips there to make it worth your while. All right. All right. So yeah. So back to this entry right here. It's not qualified at this time, so we'll move on. Here's one. And we know this penetrated here. Here's another good example. Illustration of one that has painted, and then it penetrated and it turned hollow. Now, this guy, Sam Sedin, we're almost done here, guys, so I know this is getting long, but what he says, what he does, his strategy is he waits for a zone to paint, and he waits for the first retouch, and then he takes the trade from there. Okay, that's viable also. So that's because it goes back and retouch, it doesn't mean that it's not a viable trade. I'm just saying that when it creates and it goes and it doesn't retouch, that's 99.9% of the time. Of course, you won't know that until time elapses and you see what price did. All right, let's see if we're at. Oh yeah, we're already above it. So that's not a viable trade this time. There's another guy that didn't paint. Here we go. Here's a fresh one. And look at that, right at the 25% zone. So, Brian, would you take this or not?
Yeah, probably, yes.
Okay, let's see what our we know what the risk is. The risk is fighting your way back to profit, but the reward is 49.50 pips. So Brian says take it. Take it, we will.
Yeah, maybe not.
Let's do it.
Well, I'd take it.
Do it. Forget about it. That's what we taught. That's what Rocky says. Forget about it. All right, that was the Euro NAS. We took it off of Brian's recommendation. So Dan, mark this. If it goes sour, we're gonna blame Brian, not Trish, because Trish was quiet on it. She didn't want to commit herself. All right, so we'll go ahead and put the 50% take profit for 43 pips. So now we got a possibility of making what? What was the first trade? 135. So about 170 pips in a day. Not bad. All right, got a few more to look at. That's already gone. But you can see here, if you were here 1, 2, 3, 4 candles ago, 5 candles ago, you're in. You are in, and you are already close to your 50% if you've not hit it yet. Let's see. Yep, you've already hit your 50%. Look at that. Bang. You're in for 105 pips. I'll tell you, man, this is a pip machine. I can't wait to take on the real machine. I better humble myself. There's an old saying, Dan knows the saying, and it's pride comes before the fall, right, Dan?
Yeah.
I better not be too prideful here. All right.
The Forex man will come and work on you.
Yeah, take away my pips. Nothing there. Nothing there. Now, here's a good example of a breakout trade. We're what you guys know so far. Let me set this up first before I ask the question. Okay, based on where price is right now, and we'll zoom out a little bit so we can see what's above. Okay, price is going to do one or two things. Always, price will do one or two things. They'll either go up or it'll go down. Based on what you're looking at here, where do you think the probability of that price is going to go next?
Down.
If
Right,
it breaks
'cause-
below the green box.
Yep, because you got two red boxes stacked above you, and these red boxes are, it's only been penetrated. The one that twice. Let's see if it's been penetrated more than twice. Nope, just twice. Okay. Oh, too far. So what I would do here, then there's always a possibility that a news event, whatever, it's going to spike up and break that. And so when it breaks that, it's like no resistance. It's going to go up at least 50% to the next level there. So I'm going to put a breakout line going north right above here, plus a couple pips. I hate when that happens.
And when you use those lines, Brian, when you're done, you want to make sure you double click and get rid of the little white dots.
Yeah, right.
Oh, get off there. Okay. And then the other entry, my short entry, is going to be below this. I wouldn't put it above it because it could bounce, or it could come off here and bounce up again and then go north again. But I know that the support here or the resistance is nullified when price breaks these zones,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be a free for all.
Right.
That's 140 pips, so 70 pip range. I'll take my take profit.
Now, so right there.
Okay, but hang on. The probability of this type of entry is about 85%. Okay.
So that's an alternate entry. That's an entry that the machine would never take.
Yes.
Those right there.
This is what the machine will never take this.
It's not set for that.
Okay. All right. We got a couple more, and let's see here. We know that's already past the 25% mark. That's no man's land. And this guy right here. Oh. I think we have one. Let's get these bad boys out of the way. Now you could use, you could just, if you really want to make sure, you can leave this here and go ahead and map out. Let's go ahead and map this out. Let's see what our potential is. Okay, so price is within the zone, 25%. So we, but look what it's done here though. Now, this is a case, Brian and Trish, where I think I would, when I came across this, in this moment of time, remember every time price hits the wall will get weaker, right?
Yeah.
But you got all this sell orders above, so all this downward pressure and all this open space in between. You can just take it right now, or you would have taken it when it first popped open, and you would have been going sideways here for quite a few days here. But in this case right here, I think I would leave my breakout line right here and look for a short, and know that if I got in here, once it took, create my take profit for 80, 90 pips. So since it has been going sideways, it's been, which is what, consolidation. I'm not quite sure, but the odds are that the breakout will happen to the south. And this is what these fractals represent. Okay, They represent points of contention. So I'm going to go back and that was the U.S. Swiss, which was the last pair I think we had to look at. And I'm going to turn that baby on and let it take it on its own. So we'll leave that turned on, and we'll see what happens. Let's turn the graph on. And like I said, I put my graph up to 5 to 6 minutes, so I know it fills up the whole week.
Basket equity. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. And
So
that's
you
how
got
simple it is.
you got one more chart, USD yen?
No, the chart's created all out of line. I already looked
I
at
got
that.
you. Yeah, mine do too. I got you.
I hate when that happens. I don't know why it does, but that's it.
Yeah.
It's an empty
Okay.
portion. It is what it is. So, hey, so does it seem pretty simple to grasp there, Brian?
Yes. Yeah, once we get to have a look and play around with it, and yeah, seems pretty simple.
Yep. So, you know, if you want to try this, you can do this just on a plain MT4 platform there.
Or use pending orders?
Yeah, you can use pending orders. I like using the demarc because I can manipulate those lines a lot easier.
Right.
And so, but unless you want to check charts every 4 hours and when you see a fresh subdem, jump into it, you know. So I'm going to let this run for the next couple of days, and I'll be doing the daily updates. And those daily updates are only seen now by the members of the room only, and you can see the progress. And you know, you might like this more than the Haas. I don't know. But
Yeah.
now, so you can imagine, you know, this was just a 4 hour. Imagine some of the trades you get into on a daily. You know, I got some that I've been in for a couple of weeks now, and you know, they're up, you know, over a couple hundred pips.
Oh.
So, and you know, you talk after about a month on the dailies, you kind of rotate into, you know, right now I got 9 trades open. You know, that they're most of them all in profit, and so that adds up. That pippage adds up quickly.
And even though these charts are 4 hour charts, doesn't mean that you necessarily have to look at your charts every 4 hours.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the ideal, but you know, I'm sure Roger's not getting up in the middle of the night and checking 4 hour charts when he should be sleeping.
I find, Brian, during my daylight hour, during the hours I'm awake, believe me, I find enough good fishing holes, good setups to either do what I've done here by using the breakout lines, set it up and go, or going through the charts after a new 4 hour candle and seeing an entry and getting in all, you know, right away. Believe me, there's enough. There's plenty.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. Hey, what time is it there right now, Brian?
It's about 20 to 12
At night?
at night. Yep.
Okay, because we have another member who's from New Zealand, and he says that when we did he says in the morning, yeah, he says it's about 1 o'clock. Is New Zealand a different time zone than you guys?
Yeah, I think it's about 4 hours.
Well, you say it's we got 10:09. So you what time do you say you have?
20 to 12.
And that's
10 after 12. Yeah, I thought you said 20 after 7. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's about 14 hours. Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, going into Thursday. Yeah, we've got
Going
about
into
20
Thursday.
minutes before it goes into Thursday.
So he must be on the opposite side of the international date line.
Yeah.
Down in New Zealand. Hey, so we should probably take a poll, Dan, of all of our members so far and see what, because it seems like most of our members are from New Zealand and Australia.
A lot
we
of
have
them are
one guy in South Korea now. So we should probably take a poll and see what's you know, if this is a good time, or maybe we can retard it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. It would earlier be better for you guys if we went a few hours earlier?
It would be. Yeah.
You know, we have the Monday room is like at like 12 hours earlier than this one started.
Yeah. Trish is at work.
Yeah,
Monday,
right. The Monday room is kind of set up for those who are on our side of the world, and we and we went to the Wednesday morning for us, which would be Wednesday evening for you guys, to make it more convenient for you guys. So we'll take a poll from our guys and see if we can push this back a couple hours just to make it a little more convenient for you. So
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, have you heard anything from Fabio?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, and plus we've had no internet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It kind of puts you in the desert land, doesn't it, for a while?
It certainly does.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure glad that we've made friends with people like Brian and Trish and Fabio, because when we go make our trip to Australia, we got some place to stay, right?
Not a problem.
Hey, I would love to make a trip down there. Maybe after we cash in a couple more million, maybe we'll come down there and hang out with you for a little bit.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Take a couple walkabouts, right?
Yeah.
All right, mate. Hey, you got anything else for us before we shut down?
No, I think that's it. That was thank you very much for tonight. That was awesome.
Okay.
Good session.
Hey, remember, click on tomorrow and Friday. Click on check out the daily updates on this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
On the Forex Factory.
All right, Brian. Hey,
cool.
you have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Okay, no worries. Thank you very much, and you have a good day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye.